"Let it be" is a phrase that has resonated deeply with people around the world, particularly due to its iconic presence in the Beatles' song. But beyond its musical context, the words, "Let it be," carry profound wisdom, and when viewed through the lens of Buddhist philosophy, they take on even greater meaning. At its core, the phrase encourages us to embrace life as it is, without unnecessary resistance. In Buddhist teachings, this sentiment aligns perfectly with the principle of impermanence, the understanding that all things are transient, and holding on to them can lead to suffering. One of the primary causes of suffering, according to Buddhism, is attachment. We often hold on to things, whether relationships, material possessions, or even our identities, believing they are essential to our happiness. But the truth, as Buddhism teaches, is that everything in life is impermanent. When we cling to these fleeting things, we are setting ourselves up for pain when they inevitably change or disappear. This human tendency to resist change and hold on to what we know can create deep internal conflict. Understanding and applying these teachings isn't easy, but the wisdom of Buddhism provides us with a roadmap for finding peace amid the chaos of life. As we move forward in exploring these concepts, we will delve deeper into the role of mindfulness and how it can help us live more fully in the present moment, embracing change without fear or resistance. Understanding suffering, the first noble truth. The first noble truth of Buddhism is one of the most fundamental teachings. Life inherently contains suffering. This truth, often called dukkha in Buddhist terms, speaks to the universal reality that no matter who we are, where we come from, or what we do, suffering will find its way into our lives. This suffering takes many forms: physical pain from illness, injury, or aging, emotional distress from loss, betrayal, or disappointment, and existential suffering from the realization that life is impermanent and unpredictable. The Buddha's recognition of this truth was not meant to discourage or depress, but to awaken us to the nature of our existence and to open the path toward a deeper understanding of how to alleviate this suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of life, but that does not mean we are meant to accept it passively or without seeking understanding. On the contrary, the path to overcoming suffering begins with recognizing it as a part of our reality. Only when we stop resisting it and start accepting it for what it is can we begin to move toward peace. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means acknowledging the pain without letting it define us, and allowing ourselves the space to heal. This is the first step toward liberation, according to Buddhism, an essential foundation that supports the rest of the teachings. As we move forward, it is important to explore how to handle the causes of suffering, our attachments. Letting go of attachments is the next step on the journey, which leads us to a deeper understanding of impermanence. When we learn to let go of what no longer serves us, we open the door to inner peace and freedom. By doing so, we can begin to live with more clarity and understanding, accepting life as it comes and freeing ourselves from the grip of suffering. The causes of suffering: attachment and craving. The second noble truth of Buddhism addresses the root causes of suffering, which are attachment and craving. This truth reveals that human beings suffer because we are inherently drawn to cling to things, people, and even identities that we believe will bring us lasting happiness. However, Buddhism teaches that this very attachment, whether to material possessions, relationships, or even our sense of self, is the source of much of our suffering. As we cling to these transient things, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment when they inevitably change, decay, or vanish. The core of the Buddha's teaching is that suffering arises from this attachment, and that the path to peace begins with the recognition of this fundamental truth. When we understand that attachment is the root cause of much of our suffering, we can begin to change the way we relate to the world around us. This process of letting go does not mean abandoning our desires or completely detaching ourselves from the world. Rather, It is about learning to embrace the impermanence of all things and understanding that our happiness does not depend on holding tightly to what is temporary. The Buddhist path encourages us to recognize the impermanent nature of all things, and to let go of the attachments that keep us trapped in cycles of desire and disappointment. The Buddha's teachings guide us toward a deeper understanding of how attachment and craving perpetuate suffering, and offer us a way to break free from these patterns. By learning to let go of our attachments, we can open ourselves to a more peaceful and fulfilling life, grounded in the present moment and free from the anxiety of clinging to what is transient. Embracing impermanence, the third noble truth. The third noble truth in Buddhism teaches us that suffering can be ended by accepting impermanence. This truth is not about resignation or passivity. It's about a profound shift in perspective. Everything in life, from relationships and emotions to material possessions and our very bodies, is temporary. This realization, which is often uncomfortable to face, is at the heart of the Buddha's teachings. Yet, it is also the key to finding peace, as it opens the door to freedom from attachment. Our possessions also embody impermanence. We accumulate things, believing they will bring us happiness, security, or status. However, these material possessions, whether a car, a house, or a piece of jewelry, are not permanent. They can be lost, damaged, or taken away. In the moment when we lose something valuable, the pain of that loss is often magnified by our attachment to it. The Buddha's teaching invites us to reconsider our relationship with material possessions. Instead of holding on tightly to things that are fleeting, we can learn to enjoy them without letting them define our happiness or our identity. At first, I struggled with the thought of losing that connection. I wished things could stay the same, that my friend could remain in my life as they had always been. But through the lens of Buddhism, I realized that my suffering was coming from my resistance to the change. I had attached too strongly to the idea of our relationship being static and unchanging. When I accepted that everything, our friendship included, was impermanent, I was able to let go of my attachment. Instead of grieving the loss, I was able to cherish the time we had shared and embrace the new opportunities for growth that came with our separation. Non-attachment, freedom from the illusion of ownership. Non-attachment, a central concept in Buddhism, is often misunderstood. People may mistakenly believe that non-attachment means renouncing all desires, withdrawing from the world, or becoming indifferent. However, true non-attachment is not about rejecting life or distancing ourselves from others. Instead, it is about freeing ourselves from the need to control, own, or possess things, people, or even ideas. It is the understanding that everything in life is temporary, and by accepting this reality, we can let go of our clinging and find greater peace. In daily life, non-attachment can be applied in many ways. One practical example is in how we deal with change. Life is full of changes, whether it's a change in plans, an unexpected event, or a shift in circumstances. When we approach change with attachment, we resist it and feel anxiety or discomfort. However, by practicing non-attachment, we can approach change with an open mind and heart. This allows us to adapt more easily and reduce the stress that comes with trying to control everything. The idea of "let it be," as mentioned in the famous Beatles song, captures this wisdom beautifully. It reminds us that we do not need to force things to be different or hold on to what has already passed. Instead, we can accept things as they are, without trying to control or change them. Buddhism teaches us the same lesson. By letting go of attachment, we can find peace in the flow of life, without being burdened by the need to possess or control. Mindfulness, living in the present moment. Mindfulness, in the context of Buddhism, is a powerful practice that serves as a pathway to peace, clarity, and freedom from suffering. It is the art of being fully present in each moment, experiencing life as it is, without judgment or resistance. At its core, Mindfulness helps us understand the fleeting nature of all things, allowing us to detach from the pain that often arises from clinging to the temporary. Mindfulness also extends to our physical sensations. When we experience discomfort, pain, or pleasure, mindfulness encourages us to be fully present with these sensations. Instead of reacting to them with aversion or craving, we observe them as they are, understanding that they are temporary and will pass. This practice helps us detach from the need to control or avoid discomfort, cultivating a sense of acceptance and peace. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just a mental exercise, but a way of living. It is a way of being fully engaged in life, without becoming consumed by our desires or fears. It helps us see the impermanence in everything around us, allowing us to let go of attachment and live with greater peace. By incorporating mindfulness into our daily routine, we create space for growth, healing, and a deeper connection with ourselves and the world. As we continue our exploration of Buddhist teachings, we will see how mindfulness works hand in hand with other practices to cultivate a life of inner peace. Mindfulness helps us break free from the patterns of attachment and suffering that bind us, allowing us to live more fully in the present moment, with a heart open to the flow of life. Conclusion: integrating Buddhist wisdom into daily life. Incorporating the wisdom of Buddhism into our daily lives can be a transformative journey. The core teachings of Buddhism, letting go, impermanence, non-attachment, and mindfulness, offer profound insights into how we can cultivate inner peace and happiness. These teachings are not just philosophical concepts. They are practical tools that, when applied, can free us from suffering and allow us to live with greater clarity and joy. Ultimately, embracing impermanence and letting go of attachment can lead to lasting happiness. By accepting the transient nature of life, we open ourselves to greater freedom and peace. We no longer cling to the past or fear the future, but instead embrace the present moment with an open heart. The practice of mindfulness, letting go, and non-attachment is a lifelong journey, but it is one that brings profound peace and freedom to those who walk it. In conclusion, integrating Buddhist wisdom into daily life is a powerful way to cultivate lasting peace and happiness. The teachings of letting go, impermanence, non-attachment, and mindfulness are not just ideas to contemplate, they are practices to live by. By applying these teachings in our relationships, work, and personal growth, we can break free from the cycles of suffering and live with greater clarity, peace, and joy. Letting go is not about rejecting life, but about embracing it as it is. This acceptance is the key to lasting happiness. So as the song, "Let It Be," suggests, let go and allow life to unfold as it will, knowing that in doing so, you will find true peace.